An officer and a gunman in a tense standoff.
Put it down!
That ends with both men shot.
Put the gun down, buddy!
The first thing I thought was, I'm losing way too much blood to make it.
April 2nd, 2011, Conroe, Texas. Sergeant James Kelemen responds to an emergency call. A man is wielding a shotgun outside a nearby bakery.
At the time, that was pretty much all the call notes we had while en route. I was the first responding officer. Typically here in Conroe, a supervisor isn't dispatched primary to a call. It just happened that I was close to it when it went out, so I already knew there were at least 2 units responding.
He's got a gun.
When I pulled in, I wasn't quite prepared for what I saw when I got there. He was at the door, the bakery. He was hitting it with the butt of the gun, wanting in. As soon as he saw me, his attention was drawn. He walked away from the front door, walked across the front of the building, and put his focus on me. And then and there, I knew that I was in the wrong place.
He's got the gun aimed at me.
The man with the shotgun is James Richard Hill. He's in the thick of a heated dispute with his girlfriend, who works at the bakery.
If you got people in the store, tell them to get away from the windows.
Even before Officer Ashley Brockett arrives on the scene, he knows the situation is dire.
The fact that he got on the radio and told dispatch to have the people inside the store move away from the windows, that told me that he was trying to prepare to use deadly force against this guy.
As the dash cam rolls, Sergeant Kelemen makes numerous attempts to negotiate with Hill, but the gunman refuses to comply.
Put the gun down, man! Put it down! What's going on?
In talking to him the whole time, I basically got my pistol out and it's pointed at him, and he opened the breech of the rifle, the shotgun. I thought he was going to disarm it. I thought he was going to just give up and put it down, and what he ended up doing was just looking to make sure it was loaded.
Police backup arrives and quickly gets into position. They wait for Hill to make a move.
Come on, man!
I saw that he had taken a defensive posture. He was laid across the trunk of a vehicle, pointing his firearm towards Sergeant Kelemen. So I knew that as soon as I pulled in and I looked over, I had a good shot.
Put the gun down!
When you get on a scene like that and you made the decision that deadly force is going to have to be used, which I made pretty quickly, especially after you opened the breech of the weapon and looked to see if it was reloaded and cocked it back, I knew there was going to be some type of shooting involved.
Put the gun down, buddy!
The gunman fires a single shot, striking Sergeant Kelemen in the face.
I was still trying to communicate with him. Hey, buddy, put the gun down, trying to get some type of personal demeanor with him. And when he finally fired, I don't remember the gun blast. I remember hearing it, and I knew it was him. I knew it was him that had shot. And I felt more of a percussion on my face.
Just as I was about to fire my first shot, he shot. And it kind of distracted me for a second. Shortly after he shot, I fired my first shot. And you see the window on the car that he's leaning blow out. That was my first shot.
In an instant, several officers open fire on the gunman as Officer Tyson Raleigh races to the aid of Sergeant Kelemen.
The other officers that were there, I trust them with my life. I knew that they were going to do anything that they could to protect me and Sergeant Kelemen, and at that point I chose to holster my weapon and go to him.
Hill goes down. He is fatally wounded. Officer Raleigh tends to his fallen colleague out of the camera's view, but the dramatic moments are captured on the dash cam's microphone.
I got you right here. Hey, tell my wife and kids I love them. I will. You're going to tell them you are. You're fine.
When I saw the blood coming out, the amount of blood, the first thing I thought was, I'm losing way too much blood to make it. There's no way that you can lose this much blood and live. And at that point, Officer Tyson was basically at my side.
Stay still, buddy. I'm trying. Okay. Stay right here with me, okay? I'm losing too much blood. You're losing a lot, but you're going to be okay. How bad does it look, Tyson? I'm conscious. How bad does it look? You're going to be okay. I think you're going to be okay. all right?
He keeps talking to me. I keep asking him how bad it looked. You know, how bad's my eye?
You don't look pretty, but you're gonna be okay, all right? You weren't pretty before, James.
He's even joking with me at some point. He says, "Okay, you didn't look good before the shooting." So it took me a minute to realize, hey, you know, I'm still getting a little humor out of this. I can hear everything he's saying. I can hear everything that's going on.
Sergeant Kelemen and I joke around a lot with one another, and when he said that, I just wanted to give some level of normalcy to him.
You know, everybody had a role out there on that scene. The officers that responded by shooting back had a role that they played. Officer Riley, when he arrived, he took on the role of being by my side. He knew I'd been hit. I can't say enough about him and what he did, because me being there on the ground and seeing all that blood, I knew I was going to die.
I'm sticking with you, okay?
Sergeant Kelemen is losing a lot of blood and fears losing his life, but somehow has the presence of mind to call his wife.
I could talk about this whole event. It's talking about my wife that gets to me. I remember dialing her number and thinking, God, I hope she answers. And she answered. I remember saying, baby, I've been shot. I don't know if I'm going to make it.
I love you. Okay?
Though Sergeant Kelemen is lucky to be alive, the bullet wound results in the loss of his right eye.
It wasn't as bad as I thought. I mean, of course I lost my vision, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Months later, Sergeant Kelemen and his colleagues return to the bakery parking lot, and they explain what we didn't see on dash cam.
But I took down a stance, basically right here behind my car. Most of me was shielded except for pretty much this part of me that was looking over my pistol, and that's when he took the shot.
The ambulance stopped. We went from your car to the ambulance, and then the helicopter was stopped right out here.
Our relationship with the officers that were on that scene has definitely grown. Anytime you're in some type of situation like we were in, there's definitely a camaraderie there, something that some other officers can't necessarily understand.